Have you ever seen one of these? This large, sturdy, checkered bag? It's a common sight across Africa and many parts of the world. People use it for moving, for storage, for shopping. But in West Africa, it has a name that tells a painful story. Ghana must go. Where did this name come from? It's not just a name, it's a living relic of a turbulent time, a story of brotherhood, betrayal, and resilience between two of West Africa's giants, Nigeria and Ghana. Today, we're going to unpack the real history behind the Ghana Must Go bag. It all starts in the 1970s. Ghana, which was the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence in 1957, was a beacon of hope. Under its first president, Kwame Nkrumah, it was seen as the Black Star of Africa, a land of promise and prosperity. However, a series of military coups and economic mismanagement throughout the late 60s and 70s plunged the country into a severe crisis. The economy was in freefall. There were shortages of basic goods, and life became incredibly difficult for ordinary Ghanaians. At the same time, a different story was unfolding next door in Nigeria. Thanks to the global oil boom of the 1970s, Nigeria was swimming in wealth. The country was nicknamed the Giant of Africa, not just for its population, but for its booming economy. There were jobs, opportunities, and a sense of endless possibility. Word of Nigeria's prosperity spread like wildfire across West Africa. Looking for a better life, millions of people from neighboring countries, especially Ghana, began migrating to Nigeria. They were teachers, doctors, lawyers, artisans, and laborers, all seeking refuge from the economic hardship back home. They came under the ECOWAS protocol on free movement of persons, which allowed citizens of member states to travel and work in other member countries without a visa. Ghanaians integrated into Nigerian society, contributing their skills and building new lives. For a while, it was a beautiful story of Pan-African unity. The relationship was so good that in Nigeria, anything of high quality was often nicknamed Ghanaian made. But then the tide turned. By the early 1980s, the global oil glut hit and oil prices crashed. Nigeria's economy, which was heavily dependent on oil revenue, took a massive hit. Suddenly, the prosperity vanished. Jobs became scarce, inflation skyrocketed, and social services were strained. The Nigerian government, then under President Shehu Shagari, found itself in a desperate situation, facing growing public discontent and political instability. The government needed a scapegoat, a simple explanation for the country's complex economic problems. And they found one in the millions of immigrants who had once been welcomed with open arms. The narrative shifted dramatically. The same immigrants who had helped build the economy were now blamed for taking jobs, straining resources, and even being responsible for a rise in crime. The media and politicians fueled this sentiment, creating an atmosphere of tension and xenophobia. The friendly neighbors were suddenly portrayed as unwanted guests. Then came the moment that would forever be etched in West African history. On January 17, 1983, President Shagari's government issued an executive order. All undocumented immigrants were to leave Nigeria within 2 weeks or face arrest and imprisonment. The deadline was later extended for those with professional skills. But for the vast majority, the message was clear and brutal. At the time, an estimated 2 million immigrants were in Nigeria, with over 1 million of them being Ghanaians. Panic and chaos erupted. People who had built lives, families, and businesses over many years were suddenly forced to leave everything behind. They had just days to pack up their entire existence. They scrambled to sell their belongings for a fraction of their worth. And what did they use to carry the few possessions they could salvage? The cheapest, largest, and most durable bag they could find. That now infamous red, white, and blue checkered bag. As they packed their hopes, dreams, and memories into these bags, the chant on the streets from some locals was Ghana must go. The name stuck, turning a simple, functional object into a symbol of a painful exodus. The journey home was a nightmare. Throngs of people rushed to the ports and land borders. The main border crossing between Nigeria and Benin, it seemed, was closed, as Ghana's then leader, Jerry Rawlings, had also closed his country's border to prevent a potential influx of dissidents. This created a massive human bottleneck. Hundreds of thousands of people, including women, children, and the elderly, were stranded for weeks in horrible conditions, with little food or water. The world watched in horror as a humanitarian crisis unfolded. It was a harrowing scene of desperation. Eventually, the borders were opened and a massive repatriation effort began, with ships and trucks ferrying people back to Ghana. The returnees arrived in Ghana to a country that was still struggling. There was no grand welcome, no ready-made jobs, no easy reintegration. They were nicknamed returnees or aged returnees, a reference to a suburb of Lagos popular with Ghanaians. They had to start their lives from scratch once again. The Ghana Must Go saga left deep scars on the relationship between the two nations and on the hearts of millions of people. It was a painful lesson in how quickly economic fortunes can change and how easily brotherhood can turn to hostility. Years passed. Both nations have worked hard to heal the wounds. Today, the relationship between Nigeria and Ghana is one of the strongest on the continent. They are major trading partners, cultural allies, and friendly rivals, especially when it comes to jollof rice and football. The free movement of people has long been restored, and citizens of both countries continue to live and work in each other's lands. And the bag! The Ghana Must Go bag has taken on a life of its own. Ironically, in Ghana, it's sometimes called the Nigerian bag. Elsewhere, it's known by other names. But its most famous name remains a stark reminder of that difficult period. It stands as a symbol not just of forced migration and loss, but also of the incredible resilience of the human spirit. It tells a story of people who, despite losing everything, packed up what little they had left and found the strength to go home and start again. It's a story of survival. So next time you see this bag, remember its history. It's more than just a cheap, practical carry-all. It's a woven piece of African history, a symbol of a painful past, but also a testament to the enduring bond between two great nations that overcame a difficult chapter to forge an even stronger friendship. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story insightful, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.